And we are in game number 1 between Nick and Willy Wonka, also known as Qnerr. Let's go. It's a Squirtle mirror, but different leaders and different deck ideas. Qnerr, as we see, is playing on blue coin and goes with the Shiru Harmony against Elves that are playing Reordain and all the new good stuff. Let's see how that goes. Harmony was out of favor last season, but interesting choice from Qnerr. It wasn't really nerfed that much, it's just that the faction got new stuff to play with. And in we go. This is a show match, best of 5. Winner gets the prize, and that's it for them for the tournament, so to say. 2 teams are playing, or two groups are playing. We see that Qnerr is deciding his first move of the tournament. Has, well, a few Harmony units in hand, but also has Saskia and Dana to play with in round 1 for the tempo and for the power play, and goes for the Saskia immediately. So Saskia is pulling a unit every 3 turns, plus on deploy. We see the trap. Wait, we cannot see it in the deck in this. Okay. So only 5 damage on the trap, but manages to kill a neophyte, removing one of the targets for the transformation. And since this is a Harmony deck, there is not that many elves, unlike in Nick's version. Well, for some reason I didn't see it. I tried to right-click it. Angus goes, and Angus buffs all the Deadies from now on till the end of the game. They are not 3-point tokens, but 4-point tokens. Unfortunate, like slightly unfortunate pull on Saskia, since Cat Witcher Adapt is dropping out, which loses its deployability. You see a pretty decent archer roll here with that blow spawning a token, and you see that the token is at full power. Still a few playable cards, a poison that can connect. A poison that can connect, but we see that Nick is passing, so he got his carryover with Angus, and spent a couple of cards. One of the traps finds his Seamless, didn't find... yeah, now the gold elves are coming into his hand. And yeah, welcome everyone joining. First game of the match. You can see the score on the screen. Yeah, Nick manages to find the heist here to replay his elves, but one of them is already in the graveyard, and Vanadine is nowhere to be found at the moment, right? And Qnerr goes for the push. He's equipped with this scenario. He's equipped with Harmony units here, so yeah, we see Percival drop in. Not much in terms of the control for Nick at the moment, but Yavin is there. And we see that, yeah, he goes for a trap from Reordain here. Wait, now we see the trap. I'm a bit confused of what's happened before, but no big deal. So since Nick didn't have any more traps in his hand, he went for immediate Reardine plane. And here we see that this Reardine cannot be repurposed, since it eats double the backup plan and gets removed. So no holding onto that seamless. Willy Wonka goes for it and removes one of the cargo targets. There are more. Like, you are happy with replaying your Vernocell and Isengrim and Yevon. But that's one target gone, and that setup actually takes a lot of wind out of Nick's deck. Since replaying Reardine gives you access to anything left in your deck. There is still Deception, Incinerating Trap, Vanadine. Yevon is a pretty powerful card, just that it's hard to fit him into the deck usually, so... Nick made some adjustments. It started playing this deck and it did pretty well on the ladder so far. That's how the choice was made, most likely, for the deck to be present here, this exact version. He also, like Puzzle Express, did well on ladder with Elves in the last season, getting to 26 plus faction MMR.
You must hold it between your teeth, like so.
Hello, Art, welcome everyone. Всем привет. Турнирный матч только начался. Первая игра между Qnerrом и Ником. So, welcome everyone, and also, I guess I stole Matol's slot. So, Matol and Showmatch for the info about the tournament. We see that Yevon gets teleported, does what, 6 damage, so I guess Dryad dies? No? Okay, decides to hit the tree. Qnerr is, well, doing pretty well with points here. His Shiro is landing, well, at not the ideal spot for burning the Elves at the moment, and Elves are all over the place. We see 2s, 3s and 4s on the board. Plus, well, yes, scenario chapter is activated. Okay, Elves are at 5, and there are multiple copies of it. We see that Willy Wonka continues with playing out his bronzes here. Not that many dead eyes on the board, so Nick decides to play Vernocell back row. And now, look at him go. One of the Elves got misaligned with Berserker Ping, but big bada-boom would have came if Nick didn't forfeit. So here we have it. Game 1 goes Willy Wonka's way. And that's it for the Elves. Pause the decklist, please. Okay, game 2 between Qnerr and Nick. Nick goes first now. Nick goes first. And the decks are in chat, gonna be added to YouTube as well. So this is a Nilfgaard mirror, but once again different approaches. We see Enslave 6 from Nick, and Qnerr is playing Imperial formation. No hesitation. Players are, yeah, we've been moving through the games quite fast. We see Ramon, Nausicaa and Illusionist getting marked. Pretty nice hit on Torres to get that Ramon. Assimilate likes that. Since Gwent is getting played, that Ramon is also getting milled out of the deck. Who is in Nick's hand, so he can start improving his top decks if he wishes. But Qnerr is not giving up and decides to go for the battle stations. Tempo play, trying to still apply pressure, finds Heatwave, which is, well, which was on top deck after the Gwent shuffle. Okay. Goes with the leader, goes with the tempo play, but we see that Torres marking Ramon is pretty influential. So Ku is activated, engine is getting played. Yeah, there's Torres is getting wiped here because Willy Wonka tries to stay ahead. Still has everyone's favorite Trihorn in hand, waiting for Nick most likely to either get the card that was marked with Marine onto the top deck, or alternatively to play his own Gwent. Let's see how much is Nick willing to commit here. He already got the spine on Ramon, so yeah. Decides to pass, and Qnerr actually had enough on the board, so Nick decides to allow Qnerr to push. I don't think there was, yeah, he was maximum getting 2 extra points, so there was no gamble. It's just that he decides to preserve his hand quality. That coup didn't really feel bad to play out, but Qnerr decided to tempo out, and now we have 2 rounds ahead of us. Unless somehow soldiers manage to assimilate, which is probably not that likely to happen. And Nick didn't play Gwent, so yeah, his hand is missing some stuff. For Qnerr, we see that Marines really are picking among all the bronzes now, with the extra help of Nick's Wilgefortz. Engines getting killed for now. Don't see Trihorn for now. What does it make for the... yeah. Your opponent has more cards than you in deck. Indeed. When you played your battle stations and when your opponent plays Wilgefortz offensively, you are capable of rolling an engine. Of course it's feasible, but for now it's a bit too early to talk about wasting a leader. Alba stops the engine, but where there is one, there is more. Nick actually goes for the point slammy version instead of trying and developing more marines. And there is the beauty of illusionists in most games nowadays. They usually have a pretty decent target in the graveyard. Here we see that the engine is being developed on board, and Nick has to play his own engines. Also nice blocking of the flanking here with the spy, and that city is growing slowly but surely. That's another marine on board. We see that Willy Wonka is growing his Arendite every turn, and he still has Nausicaa to draw into, so let's see how far he's pushing. But yeah, also Nick can drop the Calvit and top deck Artaud and Stefan and Ramon, which are pretty skiddy cards even in a short round. So another flanking blow broken here. Qnerr can always play Wilgefortz defensively, burning that city if he wishes, but probably not something you'd want to do with Nausicaa in deck. But yeah, we can see that players, even despite the fact that it's quite early into the new patch, already playing fast. So they came prepared. That's Stefan Skellen going to the trash can. Trahern is merciless. So that leaves Artaud in a company of Ramon and Nausicaa Sergeant, if Nick manages to get out here. That slave driver is cute. As a coup target, possible to play onto the illusionist as well. But yeah, I can just take, because of extra assimilate procs, I can take Nausicaa as well. So that city is ready for some treason. And we see that both players... okay, so Nick decides to go for an extra card to guarantee the draws, otherwise he would have tried to draw his top end. Well, Marine was doing some stuff throughout the round, but yeah, maybe not enough. Now he has guaranteed Ramon and Artaud on top, so yeah, he must be happy with his hand. Can leader be denied somehow? You'd still want to play units, so not easily. So yeah, we see Ramon number 1 Going for that Nausicaa. One engine gonna be procced, well, every turn. Our thought that is with the simulate. We'll probably see Qnerr to play what? Nausicaa into Slave Driver. Trying to protect them. He knows that there is no toll punish anymore. But yeah, Nausicaa and Ramon's soldiers are quite equipped to print 10 plus points per turn. Is this leader getting denied? Like, it kinda depends on the role here. So you can offensively Vilgi forts and buff it with Bacala. That would be a way to play around leader. Unless you expect like Deep will be in there. But yeah, Qnerr also has the information. So yeah, we see the offensive Vilga forts and the Bacala charge. Can even go and foolproof it with a leader charge if necessary. So yeah, leader was denied. But Willy Wonka is... what even is the best one? How many? Like 6 provision units are probably gone. Slave infantry also cannot find a good target here because, well, the leader was being played around and Slave 6 leader. So, while it's a nice pull on Gwenter, it only plays for 5 points here, sadly. There is still 6 points, and we got ourselves a tie. So that pull on Imperial Marine was clutch for Nick, getting 2 extra points. So we got ourselves a draw. And I would assume that it is a replay then. What Qnerr wants in this game probably is to draw Ramon in hand, so that Taurus is a bit worse, potentially. So, replay of the second game in match between Nick and Willy Wonka, also known as Qnerr. Enslave 6 versus Imperial Formation. We do not see Ramon in Willy Wonka's hand, Mulligan's Nausicaa. We see that Nick drew his Taurus, so that Taurus gonna be hunting for Ramon, Nausicaa's, and all that jazz. No hesitation. Taurus it is. So Ramon, Nausicaa, and Slave Driver are getting marked, increasing the target pool for Ertot. The last time we've seen Qnerr to Heatwave the Taurus later, but at the moment... The Calvit was played, and look at that! Look at this beautiful Gwentin. Your Bacala, no one's Bacala. A roll from Diplo creates a mill cart. Okay, so battle stations go into attack mode here. Maybe Qnerr wants to get a mill cart of his own, gets well, a soldier here. That is not the card you often see, the 8-1 Arbalist, that is applying 3 bleeding. And also has the Conspiracy condition to deal 3 damage instead. Not the most powerful card, so we've seen something special here. So last time we've seen that Qnerr spent quite a few cards in round, like powerful cards in first 3 turns, and Nick just decided to take it into round 2 on 10 cards both. Players here we see potentially a different approach. Yeah, the hand is good, and okay, we see that he had a pretty bad card in the Obsidian Mirror here and decided to go for it. Diplo into Diplo, even if you don't have... even if you do not have...
yes?
an assimilate unit on the board is always fun. Okay, so yeah, Nick kinda imitates his last game's game plan, also passes, taking a loss, but yeah, now we went 1 card deeper. He prefers to hold onto that Calvage to find some like playable bronzes as well, instead of just top decking Artot and Ramon. No False City this time, and also no Assassination, so Qnerr's engines are living a bit more freely. Although, yeah, for those to leave, they need to be like drawn. And after Calvit, it's a bit more complicated.
What is truth if not
Artorius is into Nausicaa, is another deja vu here from the previous game. So we see one of the engines getting out. What is Qnerr picking here? He's picking one of the 6 provision card that was probably the only target that was guaranteed, so he just developed the Imperial Marine for the engine value, not for the top decking value, because that's the beauty of that card. Sometimes you need it to improve your top decks and the draws, and sometimes you can just guaranteed take it as a 2 points per turn. We see that Imperial Marine doesn't really care which side it is on, as long as the card is on top deck, the target it continues to buff self.
A highly curious case.
I live to serve you.
Top decks are being looked at by the Qnerr, who didn't really want to be in this match, but ended up in one anyway. I wonder if this positioning was on purpose to prolong the cavalry. So they are arriving, yeah. But with leader that could have been achieved, so that they are not hitting the same unit.
An interesting choice.
Now we see that Imperial Marine is being milled out of Qnerr's stack. And yeah, he's pushing, but this time around Nick has that Stefan Skellen that got milled in the previous game in hand. He's missing Artot. And, well, Nick is out of leader this time around, but we've seen the previous game the leader didn't matter because leader was dead, as it had no target. So Willy Wonka is probably playing that Tryhern, right? No reason to carry it into the next round, and even if your opponent didn't play Calvit, you are still hoping to hit. That's a 3-point. Cool. And goes for Vilgefortz first.
Reflected in a pond for the night sky.
Okay, interesting choice. But we've seen the top deck from the Qnerr, so the Qnerr was played after the Diplo, and it can change the top deck.
This time.
Here we see Calvit being played. And Imperial Marine clicked, so Tryhern was hidden for long enough to strike now. There is no way for Nick to hero pass because of the carryover on board. Okay, so Nick goes into round 3 with Bratens. Qnerr gets Ramon and Nausicaa Sergeant, but they are going into the next round on equal cards now. So, slightly different situation from the previous game. Cool. Ramon and Nausicaa. You'll have to see those cards. And you know that your opponent's win cons are also marked with your Taurus in round 1, so you don't have to mulligan coup, you know that it's gonna be playing for points. So we see as a first move Qnerr goes for Illusionist and develops an engine. He can play he can deny the coup play for now, not like it matters too much. Irondite is at 4 power, so yeah, that's the reason why it was mulliganed away. We see the Bratens going, landing, assimilate engine going first, before the point slammy cards, that also trigger assimilate, and yeah, Nick opts for Illusionist into Marine as well. The coup is activated whatever you are doing, so it doesn't matter much here. You can just deny some of the value with the implementation of leader charges. And yeah, short, kinda short round, but Imperial Marines still a weapon of choice here, because nobody can deny that 1-2 points per turn is a decent value. As we said, yeah, there is no denying the coup value.
Victory is on the way.
Ramon into Nausicaa. no spotters nowadays, but some elements of those soldiers in Nilfgaard are prevalent on the meta for years and years now. Nausicaa playing for 10, plus leader charge and plus double marine. So yeah, Qnerr takes it this time around by a couple of points. Well, not couple, a 3-point gap is what we see. So for those of you who just joined, this is a show match, and Qnerr has to win one more game. Only AQ to get through, he gets the preferred coin as well. Yeah, so AQ likes blue coin, Qnerr is going first now. Nick still has Skellige warriors, elves with heist, and Enslave that we've just seen in action to win with, so he's hoping for reverse sweep. And yeah, you might not see AQ deck too often on the ladder, but there is a reason. In tournament, this deck loves blue coin. So Willy Wonka leading 2-0 over Nick, and he goes first here with his AQ deck, or Traski's AQ as it was Triple Either was called a couple of seasons ago. Nick is playing control with warriors, so raids, warriors, and damage, hoping to control, but there is a slight problem. That deck doesn't really have a purify, does it? We can check, but yeah, we see the defender, we see that there is no Gremist, so what Nick has to do here is to deal with that defender. How you do that? You just call your best champion. One troll attacking another. We see that Qnerr opts for the hive. You usually don't really want your Kikimor Stalker as a first card. You want it appear on the board in a controlled manner. So Hatchling is next, I would assume. Warriors are pretty great at dealing with small engines. It's just the question of how many engines can they deal with. So yeah, here we see the hatchling appearing, so the observer is showing it in the correct order.
Very corpses? Nay, feed our foes to the crabs while they still live.
Nick decides to keep the charge on the order on the raider. Potentially kill or combine the damage between a couple of cards to deal with the stalker. Qnerr decides to commit AQ, not on defender, not on either. Well, he didn't have it in hand to begin with, plus you are just risking it getting smacked immediately by one of the raid cards. So we do see the Kikimor Stalker from the hive here, and it's getting Parasite, and it's active, and it can deal with targets. So that charge order that was on the raider is getting erased. Also a 30-point gap. You still have playable cards here if you are Willy Wonka, but decides to pass. Front row is clogged, so Sove is in need of a little help. If he'd want to, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Bloodthirst 5, so not only he's in need of help, but he also needs help with damage later. 23 points. Pretty sweet pass here from Qnerr. We see that there is a target that, yeah, Raider that was killed. So nothing was killed. And also that Raider Pink wouldn't be able to set up. Oh, it could have just finished off, so a bit of unlucky for Nick. Oh, wait, it was okay, right? It doesn't matter. You didn't have to solve it. Never mind. Yeah, I was just too thrilled about those lines, but getting distracted. So back to our skill again. Still has tier. And as for the answer for tier, we've seen that Heatwave is out. It's not easy to get your Kikimor Stalker onto it as well. And yeah, we see the tier land here. Discarding most likely the 2-point warrior. Bran is not buffed here, but it's still potentially a better card because when fighting insectoids, you not often find bodies to damage that you do not kill immediately. Okay. It's not the worst pull if you are Qnerr. You are basically bringing a 4, a 6 and a 2 from the graveyard. Could have been worse. Could have been bigger bodies. Sadly, for Qnerr, this Kiki Worker spawned not onto the defender row, so it's been killed off by the Blood Eagle here. Let's see what Qnerr opts into dropping here. Goes for triggering the AQ's Death Wish and staying ahead. Not much to be talked about in terms of reses from the graveyard. The Sove is just playing for 12 here, no Bloodthirst. And now we see the Acid Speed in action, which is beautiful and not often can be seen on ladder. The card is pretty powerful, but you need a perfect setup. So Willy Wonka survives the push and he's 2 cards up. There is no Sabbath anymore, so there is no defender, so his cards are kind of vulnerable to the damage, but having 2 cards up on your opponent should be promising. Never is it guaranteed for you to bring you win, but it's better than some situations. What is the royal decree? Okay, there is Incubus, there is a Brand Warrior, and for Doniro there are also special targets. We see that Nick is, well, in possession of his golds as well. This deals 4 damage. War of Clan can be combined with the water if you feel like dealing with it immediately. And yeah, that's what we see. So either didn't have the best performance in this game, being separated by from Defender. Nothing is being spawned by the Hive anymore, since all 4 targets were already out. This is a sacrifice to either... yeah, we see that Nick doesn't even go for Blood Eagle, goes for the create for character holder, and well, that's perfect, but buffing that by like 1 point, the Kikimor Stalker wouldn't do much. You just get Blood Eagle anyway. Okay, we see that this time around though, Kino probably, yeah, commits another charge and sets up once on the board for his Glasty. Nick is just going for points here, bringing the Invader. You can still expect like multiple damage cards. If you're Qnerr, you know what's in there. But luckily for this Brand Warrior, nothing is coming after, well, nothing. The character holder is there as well, so nothing is coming from the hand, but he's getting smacked by the Invader, most likely. But yeah, I was looking at the hand, there is nothing to hurt, but you want that character holder for the Solver buff, most likely. To insta-proc it. That means that Brand Warrior... no. Wait. Yeah, it was there. Okay. Okay, so that Brand Warrior is not really playing for any points. Is it a spontaneous evolution for Qnerr from the Oniromancy? Yes, it is. More drones for Glassy to eat. And from Royal Decree, well, there isn't a Dragon Warrior that eats and creates more ones on the board. A quick map here from Qnerr. I'm not doing it myself, but you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ones on your side of the board and 2 on your opponents. We see that Qnerr is opting for the Incubus over the Dragon Warrior. Well, most likely bringing the bear out and going for the Vran here. Yeah, brings that out, and considering he eats multiple targets on Nick's side of the board, that's a lot of points, and we have a first serious winner. Qnerr takes it 3-0. Dominant performance. GG's to both players, but yeah, Qnerr got what he wanted. He got AQ. He also managed to, like, we've seen him opting for the push strategy against the simulated Enslave 6. So congratulations, and that's first $50 and first point going to Team Gwent Pro Polska.